Let's not waste any time, guys. Let's get this started. How's everybody doing today? Onward or Pavlov? Starting with questions already. Pavlov. Maybe unpopular opinion, but what's going on, guys? Doing super. Good to hear it. Full disclosure, I'm a little out of it today. So if I'm not my regular chipper self, or I seem a little bit different than normal, or I don't make any sense. I was given some medication from my back, some muscle relaxers, and I was barely able to move this morning when I took them. That has worn off mostly, but now I have a massive headache from the pills. So, I don't care. I want to be here. I want to hang out with you guys. But if you notice I'm like this at some point in the stream, or I'm not making sense, or I just have lower energy than normal, that's why. Anyway, what's up? What's going on, Alex? I am going to be at your live stream today, Alex. I'm going to be checking out your full month of VR ladies, the ladies of VR. If you guys don't know, Alex VR, he is one of the 2 members of Between Realities, and they do a fantastic podcast. Delirium, don't worry about the back, man, because I have to say it's really not bad. It's just been locked in spasm, and that's been all my pain and my inability to move. And after 1 dose of muscle relaxers, I'm like 99%. I do also happen to have this dopey old man heating pad on my back. But, yeah. But I'm actually feeling, besides the effects going on in my head right now, I'm feeling almost perfect. Yeah, my back's doing well. I jumped right back into working out too soon, and I did exercises I don't normally do. I was doing a lot of core strength exercises because my wife wanted to work out, so I said, sure, I'll work out with you. And I just used those lower back muscles a lot for things like plank, and my body said, no. This might hurt your spine, and the muscle's locked. It's a defense mechanism. They went into spasm. And it wouldn't go away. It was 5 days in spasm, which I couldn't bend an inch. So 1 dose of medicine, and boom. What's up, Darth? What's going on? All right, well, anyway, I've been streaming more often lately. I love it. I love hanging out with you guys. You guys have been absolutely fantastic to me lately. Overall, I have to say a huge thank you to my community. If you don't know, Wednesday I put out a video about the Oculus Quest 2. This guy right here, it's been disinfected, inside joke. So I put out a video. I'm sure many of you know. It had a very controversial intro, and I was scared what might happen. But the response from you guys has been absolutely amazing. I think I'm just going to fire up a little tiny bit. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to forget that. Anyway, thanks, Tom. So yes. So I do want to say thank you to the community. You guys have actually been freaking fantastic. Everyone was super supportive in that video. No one really got on my case and gave me a hard time. If you're not familiar, yeah, I apologize. The music came on blasting. Sorry. So Alex Fallow, what's going on? Just found your channel. Good job on the Honest Q2. That's actually what I was just discussing right now. That overall video. I didn't know which way that was going to go. I didn't know if I was going to be shamed off the internet for the intro and that. If you guys are not familiar with this video, no way around it. I actually praise the Quest 2 a lot, but I start the video by putting my butt on the Quest 2. That's a true story. And basically, just to set the tone for the video, because I was kind of really upset at Facebook and some of the marketing around it, because me and some other YouTubers I know were basically shunned by Facebook. We feel as if we're blacklisted. They don't like the content we put out. The only person that would work with me was a publishing company, and it was a completely paid deal. I said, no, I don't want money. I want to do this free. I will even pay you for the Quest 2 just so I have the early access and I can give my viewers the content they are used to. My honest opinion and just my raw impressions. They tend to really like that and appreciate it. And to be honest with you, they were like, no, it was only paid. Sorry. So it would have taken away all my creative freedom. And basically, I can't go into the details of it, but the stipulations were absolutely insane. I couldn't produce a large portion of the content I like to produce. Again, I can't go into details, but I couldn't be me. I couldn't talk about what I wanted to. I had a list of do's and don'ts. It was ridiculous. So I didn't get a Quest 2, but I eventually got one, and I gave you guys my honest opinions. So that was the main topic of the story. That's why it had such an over-the-top, ridiculous intro. And to be honest, they offered me a sweet deal. I'm not going to lie. And it was really tempting watching everyone just put out a Quest 2 video. And my joke, the intro for my video, my review, stemmed from the joke I kept saying. I said, man, Quest 2 is so hot right now. Someone can post a video where they fart on a Quest 2 and get 10,000 views. I just took that joke and brought it up to the next level. So yeah, that's where I am. And if there was a little shock value there, well, I don't pull tricks like that on my channel often. I'm usually just, I don't try to be funny on the channel. I feel like it's forced, but I thought this was a good idea, and it's just my way of saying F you. No one's going to put words in my mouth. No one can tell me what to do on my channel. And if I lose future opportunities, I lose future opportunities. It is what it is. But we still want to talk about the Quest 2. I mean, I can open it up to you guys. Do you have any major questions? I don't know how many of you guys saw my review or made it all the way through the 20 minutes of ranting, even though I thought I stayed on point most of the time. If you guys made it through, do you have any additional questions? Now, while you guys, if you do, just pop them in the chat and I'll do my best to follow along. What's going on, Mark? I will say I've noticed a few other things that are coming off a little weird. But it is a good headset. The biggest downgrade is this. Without a doubt, this is the biggest downgrade. The headset doesn't want to sit on my face the way it should. You want your headset to sit like this, okay? Right around there, your eyes will lock in the sweet spot. But it's having a tendency to sit like this. And the original Quest, that would happen to people if they didn't wear the head strap low enough on their head. But this one doesn't have the same curvature. So when I put it low on my head, it just doesn't feel right. So, I'm playing with it and it's usable, but it is what it is. Let's see. A Wild Steve. Oh, Wild Steve did pop in. I missed you up there. The Quest is hard to clean when the cover is on. So, Steve, I'm sure you already updated to your Elite strap. Mine's coming next week because, I don't know, I guess I dragged my feet on ordering it. But this strap is horrendous. Okay? Can Quest 2 play with old Quest on Onward? Yes, it could. So, from a game standpoint, consider Quest 1 and Quest 2 absolutely the same. So far, the only Quest 2 exclusive, and I'm sure Oculus is not going to want too many of those for at least a year, is some Rec Room content. So Rec Room has additional content on the Quest 2. It has one of the extra quests, and then Rec Royale is coming. I guess they just couldn't get it to work on the original Quest. And yes, a lot of games are getting updates. Like my buddy Steve Knows just mentioned that In Death, a title I actually love on the Oculus Quest, is getting an update, and one of the biggest differences, yes, there'll be more effects, but there's more draw distance. So when you're playing on the original Quest, what you'll end up seeing a lot of times is like you go like, I don't know, what would be the equivalent of 20, 30 feet out in the real world, you just see fog. On the Quest 2, you're going to get to see deeper out into the world. Does it change the game? No, it's still the same game. All right, battery life. Yes, the battery life is approximately 2 hours. That's what I've seen. I would say I haven't put on a stopwatch, but yesterday I was playing Dash Dash, played for an hour, and I checked my battery, and it was halfway. Played for another hour later in the day, and it was dead. So, was it an hour and 15 minutes each session? Maybe. But, but I would say maybe you get 2.5 out of it. Maybe. Another thing I've noticed about the battery, which kind of sucks, is for whatever reason, this drains the battery in standby, at least a lot faster than the original Quest. Just trying to catch up here. But yeah, so I was playing Dash Dash yesterday, and I noticed that sometimes, like when I'm done playing, I just take my Quest and I throw it. I lightly place it on the seats behind me. You'll see, like, there's a whole bunch of headsets probably sitting on the seats right now. There's the original Quest and the Index sitting on the chairs back there. And I'll just put it down when I'm done playing, and sometimes I forget about it. And I noticed that just sitting there, it will drain the battery in standby mode, which the original Quest does, but I feel much, much, much slower. Like, I had this at a quarter battery, and then the next morning it's dead. Yes, you should be in the habit of putting it back on the charger. What's going on, Zach? What's up? So let's see. The Elite Strap, because it's comfortable. So I got the Elite Strap because it's a comfortable downgrade from the original Quest. Yes, it is a comfort downgrade. So I didn't get my Elite Strap yet because I dragged my feet and ordered it late. However, everyone I know who has the Elite Strap says it is a phenomenal upgrade when it comes to comfort level. Phenomenal. In your opinion, is VR chat good on Quest 2 based on graphics, skins that you can see? I'm not a big VR chat person. I recently just started jumping in. I was trying to track down Thrill Seeker in VR chat. I'm trying to get him to introduce me to that world, but I'm not going to lie. VR chat freaks me the hell out. It's just effing weird. And I always say, Thrill, can I join you? And he's like, yeah, join me. And then I'm just like, I get in there and I'm like, where do I go? I got my trackers on. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. But VR chat still performs pretty horrendous. I don't know if they've made any major upgrades for the Quest 2, but it still performs pretty horrendous. Yeah, like Lucifin saying. Okay, that's another question I see a lot, placeholder. How does the Oculus Quest 2 compare to the Rift S over the link cable? So you're going to see this argument a lot. A lot of people are going to say, well, no, the link cable has compression and latency because it operates different. You'll see there's no HDMI connection. There's only a USB-C. So what the computer has to do is encode the video, stream it to the device over the link cable, and then the device has to decode it. And there is a delay in there. What is that delay? Probably something around 20 milliseconds. Don't quote me on that, but it depends on your machine, your actual machine. If you're using an appropriate cable, if you're using a crappy cable, you're going to run out of bandwidth. So if you're not using a 3.0 cable, a good third-party cable, you're going to run out of bandwidth and you're going to have a bad time. Because obviously you want the bandwidth for good compression, for good quality. You don't lose frames, anything like that. So you're going to get some latency. And people who are like, well, I'm an ultra-competitive gamer and I need that 20 milliseconds. And that might be the case, but I would argue if you're an ultra-competitive gamer, you should be on the Valve Index because then you also want the superior tracking. Personally, I haven't done too much of a side-by-side. I don't use my Rift S very often, but I think it's an upgrade if you're casual, or like you don't care if you see maybe some compression on it. Thank you for following Mixios. Okay. But I would personally say it's hard to say. If you had to say, should you buy the Rift S or the Quest 2, it's Quest 2 without a doubt. Then if you say, I'm only playing PC VR, then I would say, well, I probably might not recommend the Rift S. I might recommend something else. But the Rift S is a fine device. It's fine. Oculus makes devices that are adequate. They are, they're actually beyond adequate. They give you a good experience, but that's it. They're not perfect in any way, shape, or form, and they have shortcomings. But if this is your first VR experience, it's fantastic. What's up, Mr. Trinidad? What's going on? Let's see. Is face skin burn normal? Are you saying like you're getting skin burn from the Oculus Quest 2? Like red marks, totally normal VR face. Ultra competitive and VR don't seem to mix. Well, there are some like Onward. There's some super competitive Onward players, but there's not a huge competitive scene. I would agree with that. So if you are getting VR face completely normal, I did notice something weird when I played for about an hour and a half yesterday. I took the cover off, and rather than VR face, I just had a really, really red strip here and nothing around my face, which is what I said. It's not sitting the way I want with this strap. If you're actually getting like a rug burn, the Quest is probably not sitting on your head right, not sitting tight enough. You do not want it to wobble. You don't want this when you move your head, okay? Overwatch style game would be pretty cool, yeah. Battery life doesn't get to me too much. As much as I VR game, I can still only sit in a game like as much at max like 2 hours. The original Quest I find so uncomfortable that I'm more like 45 minutes to an hour, and then I want to just rip the thing off my head and kick it down the block. So, I mean, I've stayed in my Index for 4 hours, but that's extreme case. Let's see. Yeah, it is definitely hard to be in a VR headset for 12 hours without a doubt. I can't do that. No way. Let's see. Hyperdash is fantastic. Just going to throw that out there. I love that game. I haven't played in a while, but yeah. Let's see. Can you use your Quest 2 with your Facebook gamer account? All right. You have to link it to a Facebook account. And that's another issue going on right now. A lot of people who got a Quest 2 who don't have a Facebook account but had an Oculus account open up a Facebook account, immediately link it to their Oculus account, and are then being slammed with a ban. That's because the automated systems think some type of foul play is going on. Like people are trying to make fake Facebook accounts. And some people are like getting their Quest bricked and losing access to their Oculus account. It's a separate issue. I really hope Facebook will figure that out. But you need a Facebook account, and it needs to be a valid Facebook account. That's all I can say. Just bought a Quest 1. Is the Quest 2 a massive upgrade for someone right for money? Okay, I covered this in my video. If you have a Quest 1 and you're happy with it, you don't need a Quest 2. I feel bad that you just bought your Quest 1 right now. I hope you got it on eBay at a significant discount and didn't pay $300 or $400 for it. But if you own a Quest 2 and you're happy with it, own a Quest 1 and you're happy with it, don't get a Quest 2. If you own a Quest 1 and you're not happy with it, unless it's something like, oh my God, the screen door effect is horrendous, don't get a Quest 2 either. You won't be happy with it. It's basically the same thing. Angel, what's going on? Thank you for following. I do appreciate it. All right, so let's see. Yeah, I know people who complain about the battery life will get the strap with the extra battery. Personally, I didn't go that route because, like I said, I rarely game for more than 2 hours on a Quest. And also, I don't want anything else adding any weight to my head. For me, in VR, comfort is above all else the most important thing. I've been gaming since the original Vive. I found extremely uncomfortable, and that has been like the major hurdle for me. The original Vive was, oh my god, the resolution sucks, the screen door is horrendous. I have to wear headphones, which I'm not a big fan of. Those were like my major issues. Then you go to Vive Pro, and I had an issue with heat. Some people didn't have it, but I always had a heat problem, so I was never comfortable. Come along to the Index, and it's the only thing I want to wear because it's so comfortable. I'm just so used to it. And people are like, well, what about the cable? In most games, the cable doesn't bother me, and I will take the comfort and the other enhancements of the Index over wireless. Yeah, elite strap and battery. I know, it's just not for me. So you wanted to order a Reverb G2. So they're not shipping to Iceland. That sucks. G2 looks pretty cool. I am interested in it. I know people who've used it, and they said you will not believe the overall clarity, especially if you have a beastie machine. Speaking of beastie machine, I might have to pause the stream at some point and run to my front door because I have a RTX 3090 coming today. Yeah, that's the true story. What display do you prefer more, the Index or the Q2? Okay, so they both have some shortcomings, and I'll explain them right now. The Index definitely has pretty bad. It has pretty bad what's called God rays and some glares, but certain people are more susceptible to certain things. The God rays and the glare, the only time I ever see them is in a loading screen. Black screen, white text. The bottom of the screen, I will get some God rays coming down towards the bottom, and I will get some significant glare. And I'll be like, oh, it's a loading screen. I don't really care. And then people complain about the black levels. Turn up the brightness on your Index. Doesn't bother me at all. This right here, I can notice the resolution's a little bit higher, but the problem is when you get in game, the textures are lower quality. So things don't look better. Even though the screen door effect is a little bit less, your brain kind of just, like, the Index is clear enough that your brain kind of just pushes away the screen door effect after a few seconds. So you'll notice, like, you'll grab your hand and you'll be like, oh, wow. Like, I was playing Blastin', and it's like, wow. Yeah, there's no screen door effect. I can't really pick out a pixel. However, the texture quality is poop. And you're like, yeah, well, this completely flat 72 hertz high resolution hand doesn't look great. Can I tell you about my plans for the 3090? Sure. So yes, the FOV is really like 90 versus 130. Some games the FOV makes a big difference. Other games not so much. You're very tunnel vision. So my plans for the 9030. So here's the thing when it comes to the graphics card. I wanted a 3080. 3090 is overkill. I do get some like a technology reimbursement from my company. So otherwise, I would never spend that much on a 3090. It's freaking insane, okay? But another thing that happened is when the 3080 and the 3090 came out, one of my fellow YouTuber buddies, Future, he is just an absolute madman when it comes to like trying to get new tech. And he was like, yeah, no, I have it I'm trying to pre-order here. I have this bot up telling me when it's available at Best Buy and blah, blah, blah. So he kind of got like, I got that itch from him, like, oh, cool, yeah, I'm going to stalk it out. I'm going to get one too. So I basically went to like B&H and Best Buy and all these sites, EVGA, I have an account there, and said, notify me when everything's available. I'll get the glasses in a second. Notify me when everything is available. And sure enough, I've been getting notifications, and I've lucked out. on 3 occasions now. So, and I'm not scalping. You can go to Twitter if you don't believe me. My buddy Skiva, the other counterpart from Between Realities, I know he wanted one. I said, dude, I got one right now. You got money? He said, yeah. I said, I'm ordering it, shipped it to his house. He's getting it on the 20th, so 4 days from now. So I'm on all these lists. So when one comes up, I just get it, and I go to someone I know, and I'm like, I know you want one. Here you go. Just pay me what it's worth. So I don't know. I like helping people out. So that's but the 3090, since it's available to me, I'm going to put it in my machine and I'm going to game. I'm not, it's really meant for developers, but since I could get it for a good deal and everything like that, boom. Okay. Let's jump back to, there was a question about, my buddy Steve is still here. He's so awesome. Steve, you're in UK. It would be harder for me to get you a 3080, by the way. So let's jump back to the eyeglasses scenario. Now, I can't comment on eyeglasses. I don't wear them. My vision, even in my advanced age, is still pretty close to 20/20. However, what I have noticed is my nose will touch the lens. I don't want to get too much light into the lens. I know, Lucifin laughs at advanced age. But, and I got to clean these lenses now that I'm looking at them. So my nose touches the lens, and this was an issue with the Quest 1 that I had to put the eyeglass extension in. You guys see it? The eyeglass extension is in right here. It's this second plastic piece. So I had to put that in. Otherwise, if I turn my head, it just jams into my nose, and it's horrible. I slightly feel that even with the eyeglass extension in. So I think people might accidentally clip the lenses with their eyeglasses. As far as space for eyeglasses, it looks like there's a lot of room, but I don't wear eyeglasses and I can't really test. No one in my house has eyeglasses. However, I can do a sponsored ad right here. If you do wear eyeglasses and they happen to be scratching the lens on your Oculus Quest, Quest 2, or Rift S, why not get some prescription lenses that pop right on? They will both protect your lens and they're just the perfect solution. You don't have to worry about your eyeglasses fitting in. You can get them from VR Wave. Use the promo code Mateo311 for 5% off. They've been asking me like, hey, can you promote this? I'm like, dude, I don't wear glasses. But I could drop a link so you guys can see. I've been talking to the company for a while that does these, and I know people who use them. I wouldn't endorse anything either that I personally didn't know or one of my close friends didn't endorse. I'll drop you guys a link if you want to check them out. So they're prescription lens. They're magnetic. They pop right in. And the code's Mateo311, 5% off. But they're prescription. They pop right in. I can actually put them up on the screen so you guys can see. Let's see. This is my main screen. Yeah. Womp womp. So that's them. They're prescription lenses. See, they're magnetic. They will pop right on. And so if you have, someone else in the house, you pop them right on and off, and you're good to go. Like I said, they're most likely expensive. I'm not going to lie, because glasses are expensive. And, it's just a good option. I know people use them. I don't know if this is the brand, but I'm pretty sure Mike from VRO uses them. I think he's a glasses wearer. Everyone starts to blend together after a while, but I'm pretty sure I saw Mike promoting them at one point in time. Or maybe a different brand. But yeah, it's a helpful tool. It's tough. A lot of people say, hey, do you want to, sponsor this on your channel? And I usually turn down like everything because I don't feel like I'm in a position where I should be sponsoring anything yet. I'm only going to sponsor things I personally try and like. But that's a scenario where I thought you guys should, it might help somebody. Still here, you're watching me with no audio? That sucks. Should I buy a Quest 2 or PSVR? Okay, so I own a PSVR. It's right back there. Boop, boop, boop. And I'll be honest with you, I got 2 games on it. I have Iron Man, and I have... this is where the drugs are affecting my memory. What's the platformer? Oh my god, what is... If I have to go over and look at it. Come on, Bray. Astrobot. Thank you, brain. Okay. So I have that. I'll talk about the glare in 2 seconds. Remind me to mention the glare on this because I have a topic on that. So I have Astrobot, I have Iron Man. PlayStation VR is old technology. Okay, it's old. The PlayStation VR is comfortable. It works decently well. It's cheap if you already have a PlayStation. It's a pretty cool option. You don't have 360 support, so you can't turn around. A lot of games are still going to use a controller. It's not a very immersive VR experience. It's like gaming with a screen attached to your face in most cases. Iron Man was pretty cool, though. And Astrobot, I haven't really got into it, but I hear is phenomenal. So, that's the case for PlayStation VR. I honestly think you're going to get more out of a Quest 2 than you will for a PlayStation VR. I don't know, there probably will still be a couple new games for PlayStation VR, but we're hoping when PlayStation 5 comes out, a year from then, I'd expect to see a new PlayStation VR 2. So, it is extremely entry-level, PlayStation VR. Extremely entry-level. So I don't know if you could play that via virtual desktop. I have not tested. Okay, the glare. Someone asked about the glare. So I said the index glare can be pretty bad, but I only noticed it in loading screens. I noticed something weird though regarding the glare on these. It's not bad. It's probably less than the index, most likely less than the index, but I noticed it in a different spot, which I find more intrusive. Where the index will glare and where the guard rays will shine down to is here, bottom of your eyes, which is easier to ignore. Where I'm seeing glare more on the Quest 2 is here. It's more towards the inside. I don't know what causes that. If the lens shape is different. I'm going to grab the index. It's right over here. I'll grab the index and we'll kind of take a look. I also want to clean that lens. Bum, bum, bum. Thank you for following. See, for a busted back, I'm still moving around pretty well, right? Okay, so this is the index, and notice the different shaped lens. Let's see. So the lens, and this is probably why it's hitting my nose less, and probably why I'm not seeing that side glare. It has a very sharp angle here. Helps fit the big giant schnoz on my face. So, I have a million of these. I don't know why I'm opening a new one. So, let's see. So this, the angle is less on this, if you notice. More rounded here, less angle. That's probably why it touches my nose a little bit. Frustrates me. Again, if you had that issue on the index, you can adjust how far out this is. I have it adjusted, the Quest 2, as far out as it can go. The index is at its default position. So that's that scenario. So why it glares on the inside like that, I don't know. And another thing I noticed, since this is a single LCD panel compared to the dual OLEDs on the original Quest. During loading screens and stuff, where it fades to black, I don't have an issue with black levels. I'm not susceptible to that. We all see color a little bit differently. So if you think I'm crazy, just think about the dress is black and blue or white and gold. Think about that scenario from a few years ago. We see color different. It's an interpretation in our brain. However, what I did notice is when I'm in loading screens and stuff, I can actually see the panel and the shape of the lenses type deal. It's a weird phenomenon. It doesn't ruin anything, but it kind of makes me cross-eyed for a second in between loads. I have a very weird sensation. Do I think waiting for the Reverb G2 would be better than buying the Quest 2? It comes down to what is your use case. If you're gonna game predominantly on PC and you want the highest visual quality and comfort is a concern and money is not a concern, I would go with the G2. Because what ends up happening is the G2 just has that amazing screen, I've heard the quality is fantastic. It has the same design as the Index. It has these amazing off-ear speakers. I like off-ear better because, one, you can hear the room more, too. It also feels like it's coming from a position, and just having headphones on, I feel like holds in more heat when I'm gaming, makes me more uncomfortable. So this design is fantastic. So if you're going to be playing for a long time, predominantly PC, and you want super high fidelity, go for it. Especially for things like Sims, where you don't need super accurate tracking, because what happens with the tracking is using the inside out camera tracking for Microsoft, which is improved now, but still not the best. It's not as good as Oculus's solution, but it's better than it was, and it's completely playable. But if you're like a competitive gamer wanting to do shooters, it might annoy you. Let's see. Do video watching has better resolution when connected to PC? Well, okay. Probably not. What ends up... I'm curious, what videos are you watching? Are you watching via big screen and Netflix? Because in those cases, the native experience is probably really nice on the Quest 2. It has the hardware that it can, decode high-resolution video, and there's no compression or secondary compression from a link cable. So, again, you could have some issues with different third-party link cables. So I don't think it's going to be better in the link, but I haven't tested. I don't want to go into that too much. Yes, you can sideload on Quest 2, absolutely no problem. If you're already set up with developer mode on your account for Quest 1, you literally will just plug it in, load up SideQuest, put on the headset and say allow, because remember the first time you plug this into your computer, you have to allow. So you'll go to your, you'll plug it in, you'll put the headset on, you'll click, don't ask me again, allow, boom, you're good to go for SideQuest. Any comments on the FOV? It's the same as the Quest 1. Do I miss the increased FOV of the Index? Yes, but not always. Yes, but not always. Depends on the game. So putting your Quest 2 in developer mode is literally, we'll go through it together. Okay? Just so you guys know. If you've done it before. If you've done it for your Quest 1. You open up the Oculus app. Your Bluetooth needs to be enabled. And then you're going to go to settings and you're going to go to connect to your Quest 2. I'm connected. You'll do the drop down. And from there, you will go to more settings, developer mode, and on. That's it. Then you're ready. How's the resolution on the Quest 2? It's nice. It's nice. The biggest, what you notice the most about the resolution on the Quest 2 is the fact that there's no screen door effect. What I say is why it's not a huge difference, at least for me, is because you're still going to go into games. A lot of the games haven't been updated for Quest 2 yet, and even the games that have been updated aren't they're not PC VR. So you have this beautiful screen running a low refresh rate and games with low texture quality. So, it's kind of like watching 720 on your new 100-inch OLED Samsung TV, or it's like watching cartoons from, the early 2000s on your 4K OLED TV. That's kind of the best comparison I can give you. The content that's being served up to the screen doesn't match the quality of the screen. All right. Valve Index or Quest 2? For me personally, it's still Valve Index. Again, it's my use case. I was actually having kind of sort of a similar conversation with Eric for President last night, and I said over Twitter, he loves to not agree with me. I could be like, puppies are awesome, and he'll be like, Matt, you suck. But anyway, so it comes down to your preference. Do you care? Thank you for following Panda. Do you care about What do you care about most? Do you care about comfort? Is that your biggest thing? And that's very high on my list because I'm old and grumpy and always uncomfortable. So if comfort's high, this is like a 9, and this with the default strap is like a 4. But now, does it come to, do you care about the refresh rate? Do you have a PC that can push this thing to the, 120 or 144 frames per second? So those are other considerations. But for me, here's the thing. Virtual desktop on Quest 2 versus Rift S. Well, we did Rift S with Link. It's the exact same comparison I mentioned earlier, David. It just comes down to a little bit more latency in virtual desktop. For some reason, my brain is susceptible to the latency of virtual desktop. I guarantee you if I tried more, I would adjust. But for me, for some odd reason, I load up virtual desktop. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then the second I see some compression artifacts, I'm like, compression artifact, this sucks. I know I'm being a baby, or I'm like, let me move my hand really fast. That didn't feel perfect. I know I'm being a baby. I know I am. But for whatever reason, I'm like, well, what's my alternative? Feel a cable behind my back occasionally, or notice compression and latency. And have more comfort, have less comfort. And for me, it comes down to I'd rather have the comfort. It depends on the game I'm playing. There are some games where I'm like, this effing cable, I want to rip it out of the wall. But then there's other ones where a lot of shooters, I snap turn. I snap turn like a beast. I feel bad if you watch me live stream a shooter. I live streamed Solaris a couple times. I personally find that content completely unwatchable. I'm kicking ass and taking names, but it's like snap, 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 snap. I'm like a madman. And that's because I don't want to turn from my back injury. I don't want to physically turn too much because that's the worst thing you can do. However, that's what it comes down to. So I'm just used to snap turning a lot. And because of that snap turning, knowing where the center of the floor is and staying rigid, I don't tangle the cable very often. Do I think the Quest will become better than the Valve Index at some point? Okay, thanks for the follow. Let's see. So, Mame fan, what's going on? Haven't seen you in a long time, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Okay, do I think the Quest, as far as the evolution of the Quest, let's go to Quest 4, the processor in the Quest will be whatever, Qualcomm XR19, 85 billion gigahertz, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I think eventually there'll be a standalone device better than this, but at the same time, when that happens, there'll be a Valve Index 2 or 3, which will be much better. I can't smooth turn, by the way. I can't smooth turn. Skiva, you're broken back, buddy? My homie, I was talking about you a little bit earlier. Look, I got the heating pad, and the doctor has me drugged up today. But I was like this morning on the draw. I'm on muscle relaxers, nothing cool. But they wiped the crap out of me. Let's see. Facebook's privacy policy. Okay, so I've spoken about Facebook's privacy policy, and I'll speak about the jailbreaking in a second too. I've spoken about their privacy policy quite a lot on my channel. My personal opinion is, which I don't think will ever happen. Sorry, I got to turn my heating pad back on. My personal opinion is that laws need to be put in place to protect consumers. Now, I don't think it'll ever happen because Facebook has so much power and so much sway and corporate lobbying. Maybe it'll happen in some European countries, but not here in the US. It's just, capitalism rules all here. So I don't think that, that will happen, but I think that's what should happen. I've been very outspoken. There's a nonprofit organization made up of developers, software architects, and all this stuff, who are trying to get laws put in place. The name of it eludes me right now, the group, but I spoke about it in one of my videos. And they're trying to get laws put in place. Germany, like you said, Germany is pushing back. Even the U.S. just had a congressional investigation against Amazon, Facebook, Google, and especially Facebook was found guilty of anti-competition monopoly practices where they basically go to someone and they destroy them. I mean, Big Screen has made comments about that. Anton from H3 has said, like, you know, if you want your game to be successful and make money, you just got to work with Facebook, but I won't do it, you know? And I respect that. You guys know from the beginning of the discussion I had, that's my position. But you end up in a couple scenarios where it's like, all right, there's no win. You're not going to get the people on board. Like, to get things passed, you really need to get a lot of people complaining to Congress that Congress is like, we need to shut them up. And here's what happens. It's like, shiny new product. Oh, you want me to complain about this? No, it's cool. No, but my games are fun. But I like my games. But what if Facebook takes my games away? Don't take my games away. So, like, that's the scenario we're living in. So laws won't get passed. However, Facebook is moving into eye tracking and other biometric tracking, and that's where it gets super scary. I did a video on that, and the amount of information they can gather just from eye tracking alone is insane. They could basically start to, like, read your brain. And I recommend you guys watch The Social Dilemma on Netflix to kind of know how much these companies are manipulating us right now. Facebook did a study to see if they can adjust the mood of people without them knowing. And they adjusted what was being delivered into their feed and noticed that they can make people like more irritable or more depressed or more angry just by adjusting their feed. So it's a really scary scenario. I mean, but listen, when it comes to all of these companies, every one of them is guilty to a degree. You didn't get to the top without stepping on a couple people, to be honest. That's the world we live in right now, and it sucks. I have a phone ringing upstairs that I'm not going to answer. Okay. Is the Quest 2 still worth it even though I'm experienced? When you say experienced, does that mean you have multiple headsets, have been playing VR for a long time, have used your Quest 1 for 1,000 hours? Experience varies. Like, experience is like, I don't know, well-versed in VR, which I would consider myself. But like I've said to people, if you have a Quest 1 and you're happy with it, you do not need to upgrade. That's my opinion. It's kind of like you have a fairly good video card. So let's say right now you were rocking a RTX 2060, okay? RTX 2060, maybe a 2070. I slap in a 3080 into your machine, and you return to playing Minecraft. Are you going to notice a major difference? No, it's still Minecraft. Still a game you enjoy. You'll still have fun with it. I didn't change much for you. Oh, Skiva, you were calling? Skiva, you're one of the only VR people or internet people I know that actually has my real information at this point. So, in case I croak on stream, everyone tell Skiva to get to me or something. He's only like 900 miles away. All right. Jailbreak. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. I do appreciate it. So the Jailbreak Scenario. There was a $5,000 competition to get someone to jailbreak. Personally, I think what would happen is if someone does succeed in jailbreaking the device, Facebook will turn around and be like, oh, that guy's offering you $5,000. How's $50,000 sound? Just sign this NDA and we'll send you a check. And show us how you did it so we can patch it. And I think that's what would happen. Yes, there is in between IPDs. I'll get into that next. So that's the whole scenario with the jailbreak. It would be cool. I would like to see it. I would like to see more competition for Facebook. Not that I am super anti-Facebook. I know all these corporations play dirty. Facebook has a really checkered past, though. But I want competition in the industry because this is what can happen. Facebook gets the vast majority of the VR users or the VR player base. 60, 70, 80% are owning Quest because they're so cheap. Whatever the scenario ends up being. Everyone's using the Quest store because Facebook is forcing you there. And then once they have everybody locked in, then they just stop flicking switches and saying, oh yeah, Revive, gone. Oh, you want to launch games from Steam VR? Gone. And you're done for. You're locked into their ecosystem and you don't have a choice. And they know there probably will be a backlash. Like 10% of people will be like, well, F you, I'm gone. And they'll do the numbers. They'll crunch the numbers and be like, we can lose those 10%. All right. So that was the jailbreak. But yeah, like I said, it would be cool. I personally wouldn't want to do something like that to potentially break the device. I do have a history with not jailbreaking, but modifying Xbox. So I modified the original Xbox with a chip. I modified the Xbox 360. The Xbox 360, the security protocols, if you guys are interested, I'll go through it in 2 seconds. Security protocols on the Xbox 360 were simple. They encoded their games on a special disc, which had a marker on the very end of the disc that was, for whatever reason, really hard to reproduce. So, the CD-ROM drive, we'd check for that marker and say, this is a valid disc. And that's how they stopped you from just ripping and burning a copy of your DVD, 360 DVD game. So that was encoded on the firmware of the CD-ROM drive. The other thing that was encoded there is a special code which matches the motherboard. So you can't replace the drive. So people are just, I'll put in a drive that doesn't have this special security lock. So people developed ways to probe the drive, get the code, and then you read the code, you update the firmware on the CD-ROM drive. I used to do this. Whatever. It's not like I was pirating games or anything, but, I used to do this because I was really curious about it. So you'd have a probe, you poke it in. Well, actually, the original ones didn't even have security mechanisms. You would just pull the firmware off, get the code from the firmware, and put a new firmware on that didn't check for this encoding. So there's always a way. Let's see. Is it weird that I'm commenting on my Quest 2? No. People have many problems with Facebook. Let's see. Well, so the thing with Facebook is why they made such a great headset is because they know how to make strategic moves. This headset is a strategic move. It's not about giving you the best headset. It's about getting the headset and Facebook accounts out to an additional 2-3 million people. That's what it is. Facebook doesn't do well with the younger generation. The people in their early teens have not really adopted Facebook like the older people like myself and even the boomers have adopted Facebook. So this is a way to pull them in. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. I got the $4 million euro bounty. I wish. 256 gigabyte, I do recommend over the 64. Do you want to know why? Huge reason. Quest games are about to bloat in size. The current Saint and Sinners, so the Walking Dead Saint and Sinners for the Oculus Quest, once installed, is 12 gigs. If you have a 64 gigabyte headset, that's 5 total games before you're out of space. I think most of us want more than 5 games. So I do recommend that the 256 gigabyte model. Facebook is getting like EA. So I actually thought about that comparison recently. In my scenario, with Facebook refusing, all speculation, blacklisting me and potentially other streamers, YouTubers, from getting early access to content and being able to produce content because they don't like how we make it or what we say, made me think of EA. EA had a really, really aggressive or probably immoral, work relationship with streamers and YouTubers. And it was a really, hey, here's money, this is what we want you to say scenario. And as someone working in this industry, I don't do this full time, so it really scares me because the people who are working in it full time, they don't really have much of a choice. It's so easy to twist their hand. If this is your livelihood and Facebook can say, listen, we're going to turn your hand this way and you're going to make less money, or we'll turn it this way and we'll crank up your money, and all you have to do is, say you love it, people are going to do it. And I don't really blame them too much. It just is what it is. Let's see. Saints and Sinners on the Quest. I heard the download is 9 gigs, and once you install it, it's 12 gigs. But maybe that's Quest 2 with higher texture packages, or maybe the information I read, which I double-checked yesterday, was inaccurate. Even though if it's 8 gigs, okay, 7 games. All right, let's see. Do I notice worse God rays? So I spoke about God rays a little bit already. I'm noticing something weird. Right in here, I'll bring it closer. Rather than there's the lens. So on the side, rather than the bottom, where you traditionally would see like God rays will flow towards the bottom. I'm not seeing God rays, I'm seeing glare more. But rather than them like flowing towards the bottom, I'm getting more glare in here. And I don't know why. Yeah, okay, 8 gigs on Quest 1. All right, is what it is. Let's see, any other questions, fellas? I do have some cool announcements for the channel before... you guys might be thinking, okay, this is a short stream. This is kind of how I roll. I'm on my lunch break. I don't have a ton of free time. Yeah, I'm going to pause here. I'm just going to let you guys know a little bit about my channel and stuff. How heavy does Quest 2 feel? I will answer that in 2 seconds, I promise. So if you guys are not familiar with my channel, I assume at least a bunch of you are, but I do primarily YouTube content. It's all VR related. I do the news on Monday, which has a large focus on what games are coming. So I cover, games you may have never heard of, the big releases, the release dates, all that stuff. I do another piece where I talk about my personal experience with the games. It's a new Friday segment that I've been working on. It's not catching too much steam, so I don't know if I'm going to keep on with it. But anyway, if you have any interest in VR, I hope you check out my channel. You click the subscribe on YouTube. You follow me on Twitch. I don't live stream very often, but I'm considering doing it at least once a week for these hour streams because I love this conversation. I absolutely love it. I think it's the only time you guys get to see my real personality. In videos, my personality doesn't really come out because I'm kind of sitting there and regurgitating information to you. I try and make it exciting. I try and make it me, but it's hard. Well, thank you for that. There was something I wanted to go back to. Someone said something. I'm trying to scroll up and see. But anyway, guys, the only time I really stream is for special events. If a new game launches, that's a big VR title, you can expect me to be streaming it. Also, if there's like I try to do like an event where I'm like giving away a bunch of keys. That's the only time I really stream. I did like a full week of streaming 2-3 weeks back, but it's not super common for me. Let's see. Wow, so you got a lot of headsets, GT. The weight comparison. Thank you, Liberty. Okay, it's light. It's freaking light. It's really light, but more importantly then, because it's not like a huge weight reduction, but more importantly, it's not front heavy compared to the last one at least. I said the head strap doesn't hold onto my head the right way. Almost because I feel like if it was front heavier, it would sit better, but then it would maybe put too much pressure. But you can feel the difference. No, you guys don't have to donate, but I do appreciate it. Let's see. Pair character turning around, waving his hand, saying, "Hey you," while lowering his glasses. Okay, but thank you so much. Like, listen, I always find it amazing when someone donates. I will go back to talking about the weight in a second, but I appreciate it so much. Honestly, it's like I never expected. I don't know what compels someone online to be like, this dude deserves money. this dude, I don't know what I did to deserve money, but I always take that money and I throw it back somewhere in the channel. Last time when I streamed for a week, I got a whole bunch of donations, and I used them to buy a copy of Star Wars Squadrons for someone. So just know that I will make sure that that donation goes to a good place. All right, so the weight comparison, it's definitely lighter. It's not as front heavy, more importantly. I don't know why I don't deserve it. I never feel like I deserve it. A lot of times I feel like a phony on YouTube. Like, I'm friendly with all the other YouTubers, and it's natural to compare yourself, but I won't get in that mindset anymore because it's not healthy. And you'd be like, well, why does he have 100,000 subs and I have 15,000? That's not a healthy mindset. Some people work the algorithm better. Some people are just more charismatic. Some people, whatever, they're better production value. The failure is me. The failure is on my end. So it's not YouTube doesn't like me. So that's one thing you have to understand as a YouTuber. You can always get better and just be happy with what you're doing. If you're not happy, then you're not doing the right thing. Well, thank you, ED. Let's see. Can I have your advice on the question I sent? Cheers. Let me go up to the super chat. I missed. Okay. I have a Quest 1 and Quest 2. Should I sell my Quest 1 so I can get another Quest 2? So I can get another headset for multiplayer. Okay. Two things to that. If you have a Quest 1 and you're happy with it, don't buy a Quest 2 for the upgrade. It's not worth $300. It's not a $300 worth of value upgrade, at least not yet. That's my personal opinion. It's a good upgrade. It's nice. It's less comfortable. You want the head strap. So it's not a $300 worth upgrade. Now, if you want two headsets, you're going to run into a problem. Like say, oh, you want two headsets and you want to do the new multiplayer Beat Saber with your brother. Well, guess what? You need to buy another copy of Beat Saber. And sorry I missed your question. Is VR a hobby because your house is massive? Okay, I'm in US. So this is not a massive house. The square footage on my house is, I don't know, 2,200 square feet. If you're living somewhere in London, that'll sound like a freaking palace. But some parts of the country, you can get 5,000 square feet for $200,000. Other parts of the country, you can get one room for $200,000. I'm not in New York City anymore, so I'm not paying, I don't have crazy expenses. This is a middle income house in the United States where I live. This isn't a rich neighborhood. This isn't a massively huge house. This is what you get. This is my basement. Is it normal? The Quest 2 is a little blurry. Okay. Someone has asked me this already online, and I responded to them. And what I think the issue with people thinking the Quest 2 is blurry could possibly be an IPD issue, because there's only 3 steps in the IPD, and you might be going a little cross-eyed, you're not focusing right. Or what I think is the issue is I find the sweet spot harder to get into in the Quest 2. And since the LCD panel is so high res, you will notice that anything slightly off center looks super blurry, because you have one spot where things look super clear, and in comparison, you're like, this thing's blurry. So most of your field of view looks blurry. So honestly, I think that's the issue. Some people will say, oh, the thing's super blurry. In VR in general, if it looks blurry, you're most likely not in the sweet spot. This is what you do, okay? To find out if that's the case. You just put it, I'm not putting the strap on, put it on your head, put on a game, and just hold it tight against your head and kind of move around slowly a little bit and see if you find the spot. See, right here, everything is blurry. Right here, I don't even know if you guys see a difference. Crystal clear. Blurry, crystal clear. And it's that much. And that's something you learn in time, that's experience with VR. So try that. Is there any way to push saved games? Yes, James, there is a way. SideQuest will let you move some of the data. I haven't done it yet. I personally want to make a video on this, but I haven't had time. I wanted to make a video last night, but I took my new back medication and it instantly put me to sleep. It knocked me right out and I was useless. So you can push the save data. Excuse me. I tried doing it manually. I tried plugging in my Quest, opening up the file directory, grabbing the files which I thought were correct, dropping them on my Quest 2, and it didn't work. So I did something wrong. But SideQuest does have an option to back up data and then re-import it. That should work, but I'll test and let you know. Let's see. Well, there's still currently no plans for Echo Combat on the Oculus Quest. That was a statement from just a few weeks ago. Ready at Dawn is not planning it. If I use my mom's account, can I get banned because I'm 12? Kind of. I can't fully elaborate on that. Hi, dude. Could also be rendering lower. What are we rendering lower? I must have missed something. What's the FOV? It's the same as the Quest 1, which I don't remember what the exact number is. It might be as low as 90 degrees. Or no, I think it's higher than that. But it's the same as the original Quest. There's no difference. If there's a difference, I'm not noticing it. A good upgrade for the Rift CV1 is? Okay, that's actually a pretty good question. Depends on your PC specs and your budget. I would say if you have a high budget and a great PC, go Index. The controllers are awesome, even though there's not much you can do with finger tracking in games. Yes, I'm looking forward to Medal of Honor. So there's not much you can do with finger tracking in games, but I love the controllers. The tracking quality, like how well the controllers track, is actually the best in the industry. So you'll see my trackers. There's one up there. There's one back there. I put the cable through the wall. And then there's actually one up here. I have 3 trackers only because this is an oddly shaped room. And there's a little corner there. And I want to make sure I could sit at my desk with the Index or sit on those chairs. So it's the best. So would you say you have a 1080 Ti? Oh, 1080 Ti giveaway. So someone mentioned 1080 Ti. Yeah, I'm going to give away a copy of a 1080 Ti. Not today, but soon, I promise. That's going to go live. I just have a lot going on the channel. Thank you, James. So when it comes to upgrading, I would say Index if you have a high budget and a monster PC. If you don't, maybe consider, if you have a really low budget, maybe consider a used Rift S if you're willing to go used on eBay. Maybe spend like $200 on that. Or if you have an interest in mobile gaming or you want the extra advantage of mobile gaming, get a Quest 2, get a link cable or virtual desktop. That's my recommendation. Oh, you're watching this on your Oculus Quest 2. Fantastic, Solar. You can't do super sampling on the Quest. Did they not say it was the Quest? They said it was a different headset. Did they say like my Index was blurry rather than the Quest? But I thought they were talking about the Quest. What I said completely applies to any headset as far as the blurriness. Your IPD might be off, but blurriness is usually more you're not in the sweet spot. Is there 1 or 2 headphone jacks? You know what? There's only one. It's only one on this one, on the Quest 2. But there's 2 on the original Quest. Yeah. So I think that's going to be it for it today, guys. I can probably go on and on forever. Why do I miss Rift S over this value index? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. Rift S is a fine device. It's just like all the Oculus products are fine. Like, okay, the audio quality on this thing is it's baseless, and like it's almost like, there's no depth to the sound at all. And like I said, the strap is horrendous. And there's something to be said about the comfort even on the Quest 2. The Rift is fine. It's comfortable. It does what it needs to do. You can use Shadow PC. I'm going to go for a little bit longer, guys. I'm starting to get tired. My lunch break is up. I really do have to stop and get back to work, but I'm going to try and do my best. So, Shadow, okay. I know people have done it. And if you're not familiar with Shadow, guys, it's a streaming service. And Shadow is working on their personal own streaming for VR service, okay? Now, we know streaming services usually don't do too well. Look at Stadia, and that's backed by Amazon, so they got moolah. So streaming services usually don't do too well, and it's because of the limitations of the technology. Like I said, personally, virtual desktop in my personal house with a 6 giga, thank you, with a Wi-Fi 6 router that's wired to my machine and unlimited bandwidth, everything I need, ideal circumstance. I can feel the latency in VD, but I'm susceptible to it. Not everybody is. Some people enjoy it. Some people get used to it, whatever the case may be. Google, I'm sorry. I said Amazon. Whatever. Big company. Insert big company here. So, anyway. So you deal with that. And personally, I think it's it's, I don't know. So when I mean with cable internet, virtual desktop with cable internet, so I'm not meaning over the internet. Technically, you could probably try and do it. You open up ports and stuff like that, and it's feasible. But no, virtual desktop is meant for your local network. So someone asked about Shadow. Shadow would be streaming over the internet, and I think the potential for motion sickness and a bad experience is just way too high. You see that? Competitive multiplayer, understandable with virtual desktop. Okay. The Oculus cable does work as a link cable. The standard charging cable, it does, but don't use it. It's not a 3.0 cable. It has very limited bandwidth. You're going to have a bad time. Let me see Quest 2, please. Quest 2. Now, I wish the Quest 2 supported Wi-Fi 6E, which I originally thought it did. It's so funny. The chip inside the XR2 platform, the Qualcomm XR2, the chip below it and the chip above it both have Wi-Fi 6E. This one doesn't. The only reason why there's an upgrade to 6 compared to 6E, 6 will help you from getting interference with other devices, and it also has more bandwidth, which is great. However, 6E has much lower latency, which would have been ideal. I don't know if they'll. You know what? Amazon takes everything back. You could probably crap in that box and send it back to Amazon, and they'll take it. So why does the Oculus Link cable look like crap in Steam VR compared to the native Quest games? So damn blurry. My assumption is you're using a bad cable and you are getting tons of compression, or your machine is having issues compressing. So it depends on your hardware, and your hardware just can't compress the image quick enough. And what you're seeing is, a much lower resolution image. Now, there are settings. There's a debug mode for Oculus, which you can crank. You could tweak those settings and crank them up and stuff if you have a high-end machine. But it doesn't sound like that's the case here. I haven't tried casting yet. Casting from Quest 1 was crap. Total crap. Official cable and a USB 3 port 1080 Ti. Your experience really shouldn't be that bad then. I don't know. So looking like Google making Oculus Link look better. Google that. You'll probably get a video from Tyrell or Mike from VRO. You'll probably find one of their videos. They'll show you how to use the Oculus debug, and you could tweak those settings. Oh, Quest 2 for Christmas. Yep. Make sure, okay? If you want a Quest 2 for Christmas from your parents, tell your parents it's the white one, okay? It's the Quest that is white. But then again, Quest 1 is discontinued, so. Have you seen the new update for Beat Saber? Yes, I played it a little bit. All right, fellas, my eyeballs are ready to fall out. I have a headache from my medication. I shouldn't stay in a chair this long due to my back issue. That's why I'm starting to move into weird positions, which isn't healthy for me either. So I'm going to have to start calling it, guys. Okay? Listen to Darth. Hit that like button. I'll give you a little spiel about my channel real fast, guys. Ooh, I got something for you. I got a surprise for you guys. Are you ready for this? You guys ready for this? Before I leave, I got a big surprise. Posture was terrible, I know. I know, but I'm getting uncomfortable, so I'm trying to find a new position. Okay, I got a little surprise for you guys. I mentioned yesterday, thank you for subscribing, by the way. I mentioned yesterday, I am working on this ridiculously huge video. And I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek, okay? This is a passion project. It's for YouTube. So many people have made cameos in this video, okay? It's all about YouTube. And let me just, I don't want to make sure it doesn't blast. Let me see where the audio is. So cover your ears for a second because I'm going to turn this on and hope the audio doesn't just like, actually, you know what? Let me lower this audio first. And then I'll start it. Okay, I didn't blast you guys out. All right, let me share my screen so you guys can see this and get a little taste of what I'm working on, okay? I'll turn the volume back up a little bit. Main screen. Boop. All right, guys, this is a very special video I'm working on. I'm going to give you a little preview. It's notifications need to be turned down too? Okay. Well, thank you for telling me. I wish someone would have told me a long time ago. Let me turn that down right. I got to turn that down from wherever they're being cast from. Okay. Anyway, this is a very special video I'm working on, guys. I believe I'm going to premiere it next week at this time, if I get it done. Okay? There's a little intro. It's going to end abruptly, but... That's a little preview, guys. That's a little preview. You're the first ones in the world to ever see that. Wow, so much hype. I've been working on this video for so long, guys. I can't believe how awesome other VR YouTubers were. Like, honestly, so there's no official voting. I did like silly Twitter polls, and I know some people are going to be offended when I pick winners. They're going to be like, he shouldn't have won. He's not the best. It's all about just showing people who my favorite VR YouTubers are, or just showing the community who some of the best VR YouTubers are out there, in my opinion. There's no real metrics to say like this one is better than this one. Everyone who's in the video I think is absolutely fantastic, and that's why I included them. But you'll see there's cameos from a ton of people. And I'm not one of the biggest YouTube channels when it comes to VR. I'm actually lower on the totem pole compared to a lot of people. I'm happy with my success though. So I know a lot of people have been doing it a lot longer than I have. So, but when I went to everybody, no one said no. I said, hey, I'm working on this video. Do you think you can do this for me? Yeah, sure. Everybody. Some people like to chase to get the work done a little bit, but everybody was like, yeah, no problem, man. You got it. So that was freaking huge. Like, that made me feel so good. Is every Quest 1 game on Quest 2? Yes. They're the same thing. Yeah. Compatibility is full. Okay? Let's see. The best part, okay. Best part is, yeah, you might be low on the totem pole, but they all know you still. Yeah, I mean, I guess like we're in a like an ongoing group chat. A lot of the VR YouTubers are, and we kind of talk on a daily basis. And honestly, I haven't come across a personality that I don't get along with. All right, everybody. That I'm gonna have to call it here. I'm just gonna give you a little spiel about my channel, about what I do, about just some stuff. So I'm dropping a link to my Discord, guys. I do monthly giveaways on the Discord channel. So if you just join and hang out, you're entered. And they're usually just a game key. Like we've given away like Stride, Onward. Sometimes they're big name games. Sometimes they're third-party games you never heard of. If I don't happen to have any keys available that month, I'll give away a Steam gift card. So just join, hang out. Awesome people there. They've been spamming a butt emoji for some reason lately. Kind of looks like my butt. I don't know what that's about. But anyway, go join Discord. So you get to talk to me. I show up at least once a day in there. And I will turn down the sound on those alerts. Thank you for letting me know. Someone remind me. But yeah, that's the link to the Discord. Join me there. As far as my YouTube channel goes, I do VR content. I do at least 2 videos, probably 3 every week. I cover the latest games, the news, new hardware, you name it, okay? Yeah, and you can win the #1 fan. I mean, like I said earlier, when I got the donation, I always feel weird when people donate. It just like I feel like I don't deserve this. But if you're on my Discord, there's a channel called Support Mateo 311. It includes a whole bunch of non-monetary ways you can support me, like clicking notifications. Like click the notification bell so you get notifications, so you see my videos earlier, and then they grow exponentially and do fantastic. But like if you guys shop on Amazon, just use my affiliate link. It doesn't cost you anything, and like Amazon gives me 5 pennies. Or, you know, I have a link to like some cool t-shirts from Level 100 gear. I bought a couple of them. So like I said, I'm only going to sponsor something I wear. I wear them in one of my recent videos. So yeah, what's going on, Limited Frags? We're just closing up here. But guys, check him out too. He's a good dude. What does cross-platform mean? I'll answer this last question and then we're going to wrap it up. It means the game works, like you can play it on Quest and PC VR, those communities can play together. Cross-buy means if you buy it on Quest, you get it on Quest and Rift. Cross-platform means it's those 2 different platforms. PC VR, Quest can play each other. Intermingle. Okay? All right, everybody. This was a fantastic day. I had a lot of fun hanging out with you. Unfortunately, I can't stream longer because this is my lunch break and I went over and someone's definitely looking for me right now. But these are fun. I want to do these more often. Thanks for joining, guys. I'm going to jump to my fantastic outro, which is crap. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time.